What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to get into my Week 16 NBA Power Rankings. So let's dive right into it. Starting out with the bottom team, number 30, staying at the same spot. We have the Detroit Pistons. Same old thing on Detroit right now. I mean, just not a good team. Bogdanovich is really the only player that's scoring for them. That's really a threat for the Pistons right now. Other than that, I just don't know what else to say about the Pistons that I haven't said before. Pistons are the worst team in the NBA, but not close. Ahead of them is the number 29 team, the Rockets. At 12 and 38, the Rockets go 1-2 this week. Oh, by the way, the Pistons went 1-2. So both teams at least get one win this week, but yeah, the Rockets going to be staying in the same spot. Just clearly lacking that veteran talent here on this team. Very young roster. They still need a lot of rebuild to go here in Houston. And then number 28, we have the San Antonio Spurs also staying here at the same spot. The Spurs this week go 0-4. So a rough week for San Antonio and Popovich's squad. Really bad roster here in San Antonio. The only thing that's really keep them somewhat competitive, I think, it is Greg Popovich. But yeah, just you look at this team, and it just is really a bad roster here. And then number 27, we have the Charlotte Hornets also staying here at the same spot. LaMelo Ball is basically the heart and soul of this team. There's really no other players. I mean, they go 2-1 this week, so good week for the Hornets, but still, the Hornets not a good team at all, other than LaMelo Ball. That's really why they are better than the Spurs, Rockets, and Pistons right now, is because of their star, but just a horrible roster as well, other than him, for this Hornets team. And then wrapping it up, the Orlando Magic go 2-2 this week, staying here at 26. Polio obviously has been the storyline this season. He's an excellent rookie addition. Probably going to be the rookie of the year right now. He's playing great for the Magic, and they're really lucky to have him. I've been tempted to move the Magic up into the contender tier. I don't think that they're ready to be in that position. I just don't think that they're good enough right now, and they need to string together a winning streak for me to at least put that into consideration, because you can't go like 2-2 every week, 1-2, 2-1 if you want to climb yourself out of a hole to make the play-in. So still hesitant on the Magic there, but they're going to be staying at 26. All right, but let's go to the In the Hunt tier. Starting out with number 25, we have the Toronto Raptors. Staying at the same spot all up to this point. We're going to have some movement, but the Raptors are the last team that's just staying here at the same spot. The Raptors go 2-2 this week. So, yeah, just same Raptors basically over the past month-ish. I just don't. I mean, they're just a mediocre team right now. Can win some decent games, but yeah, I mean, they're not like the Raptors that I remember from last season, from years past, where they're a well-coached team, have a solid roster, and are definitely in the playoff conversation. That's just not been the Raptors this season, and right now they're struggling. So, yeah, Toronto, we'll see if they can rebound, but it's not looking good at 23-29. This team's just not playing. Is not, I think, a team to dig themselves out of a hole, in my opinion. All right, and then number 24, dropping down 3 spots, we have the Indiana Pacers. Rough week for them this week. They go 0-3, and a lot of other teams I think deserve to be ahead of them also. Not dissing on the Pacers. I still think that they have a good team here with Halberton, Turner, what's his name? Why do I always forget him? The guy to Arizona. I don't even remember. He's probably the second best next to Polio. But he's really good for this Pacers team. I do like this roster, but they do have their limitations. Still, it's a rebuild here in Charlotte, in Indiana, so we're gonna see if they can bounce back from this. All right, but going to number 23 here, dropping down a spot, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wherever they are, there they are. Obviously, Thunder really revolves around Gilius Alexander right now, playing great, 1-2. Then the rookie out of Santa Clara is also playing good for them. He's a starter. So that was a really good pickup for the Thunder in this draft. And yeah, the Thunder are a good team here. They got some good players. They can really surprise a lot of teams. And they're just trying to sneak into the play-in tournament right now, which is definitely a possibility. The West is wide open, and I like the Thunder as a team. I think this team's has some potential to be a good team, and they have a bright future ahead of them with all these draft picks that they've obtained. But then let's go to number 22, jumping up a spot. We have the Washington Wizards, who are going to go into the play-in tournament, replacing the Pacers here. The Wizards this week go 3-0, so big week for the Washington Wizards here. The Washington Wizards, if you look at this roster, we know that this team can be better than what they were earlier this season. And they're starting to prove it now. Porzingis is playing good. Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma. Washington's playing a lot better here. And that's what they need. This Washington Wizards team who kind of went all in this season with extending Beal, trading for Kuzma and Porzingis. They were expecting a lot more than what the season started out with. We'll see if the Wizards can continue moving this forward because, hey, you never know. With this Wizards roster, maybe they could be a scary team come playoffs. All right, but then go to number 21 if they make the playoffs, by the way. They'd have to get past a lot of play-in tournament teams. But anyway, going to number 21, dropping down a spot here, we have the Portland Trailblazers, who this week go 2-1. So decent enough week for Portland here. I like Portland. Damian Lillard is always the star of this team. I don't really like this roster. I've made it known that this is just not a very good roster other than Lillard here. Just not a very good team. I'm going to be straight up honest with the Portland Trailblazers other than Damian Lillard, even when they were on that great start to the season. I was saying that. But still, Portland, definitely a consideration for the play-in tournament right now. I do think that they could, if Lillard is playing like he scored 70 points against the Jazz. I'm not sure if that was 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, but he was playing excellent in that game. So you never know with Portland. They're a good team. Watch out for the Trailblazers. And they're going to find themselves at number 21. All right, but then jumping up 4 spots here, we have the LA Lakers. The Lakers this week go, let's see here, 2-2. But really the thing that's bumping up the Lakers here is because of the return of Anthony Davis. Obviously, with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, we know that this team can be good, and we'll see if they can do it. I'm not sure about the Lakers, though, because obviously without those two, this team sucks. Let's just be fully honest. This team is not good without LeBron James or AD, but AD's been playing decent, playing good in his return, so that's a good news for the Lakers. And with this West right now, it's wide open. The Lakers, fortunately, were able to hover around like the 500 mark or like about 4 games-ish back on the 10th seed. So they still have time. A lot of games left to go for the Lakers to go on a run and get to the play-in tournament. All right, but let's go to 19 as we're done with the In the Hunt tier there. Here we're going to have the Chicago Bulls staying at the same spot. The Bulls this week go 1-2. So a rough week for Chicago, but I still like the Bulls here. Really good roster here. Can be a very explosive team. Now, maybe I'm giving them the benefit of doubt. Maybe they should be a little bit lower on this list, but I still think that they're a good team with DeMar DeRozan, with Vucevic. Zach LaVine. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name, but yeah, I still believe in the Chicago Bulls. I think that they can rebound. We've seen the inconsistency from this team all year long, though. That's been a worry, but I think that the Bulls can bounce back. All right, and then going to number 18, dropping down a spot here, we have the Utah Jazz who go 1-1 this week. So just basically what the Jazz have been doing for a long time here, just average basketball right now, just winning some games, losing some games, basically going 500. I don't even remember the last time I think they even went that in the past 2 weeks before this, just 500 exactly. But yeah, Utah, just decent enough team here. Mike Conley, Lauri Markkanen's playing out of his mind. I like the Jazz. They're actually my team. I'm a Jazz fan. And I think the Jazz can, this is a very cohesive team. They're very, they definitely work as a team. There's not one guy that's winning this for them. Sometimes Jordan Clarkson can be a little bit hero ball-y, but still, I think that the Jazz are a good team. And I think that they deserve to be number 18. All right, but then dropping down 2 spots here at 17, we have the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks this week go 1-2. So, yeah, I'm not so sure about Atlanta here. This is just a weird team. I don't know. I mean, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, definitely were expecting more out of this season than a 500 record and like the 8th best team in the East, according to me. The Hawks probably want more than that, and it's unfortunate for them. I think that they should be better than this, but we'll see if they can play like that, what their potential is going forward, because ever since that like, whatever they were, like 17-9 or whatever start, I mean, they just haven't played as good. And it's just not been the Hawks that fans were probably expecting coming into the year. All right, but then let's go to number 16, and just has had a rough few weeks. The New Orleans Pelicans dropping down 5 spots. They're at 500 now. They lose 4 straight this week, and they've lost 9 straight in general right now. I mean, just really not playing good. I mean, for the New Orleans Pelicans, they were really looking good earlier. They were looking like maybe a potential contender team. Things have completely flipped for New Orleans. I don't know what's going on. I mean, teams are starting to figure out the New Orleans Pelicans, I think. Zion Williamson obviously is a really good player, but teams just know, I guess. I don't know what's going on with New Orleans here. I still think that they have a really good roster. I still think that they can be a playoff team in this Western Conference, but with the way they've been looking, they definitely are not that right now. They've really got to turn things around, and we'll see if they could do so at 16, taking the biggest drop out of any team on this list. But anyway, let's go to number 15. Jumping up 3 spots here, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here, the Timberwolves this week go 3-1, so really good week. Rudy Gobert returns from an injury, playing good. Still waiting on Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm not sure how they're going to look with Karl-Anthony Towns, honestly, because this team, I don't know. I mean, I thought that the trade for Rudy Gobert was a little bit weird anyway. You have 2 primary centers in there. Obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns is a really good player, but I don't know if it's going to work with him. It hasn't shown that it is. When one of them's out, Rudy or Towns, it has worked. So it's going to be interesting to see. They're still waiting on Karl-Anthony Towns. This team has a good roster here. It's just been a very inconsistent year for Minnesota. We're probably expecting for more than this, but I still think that the Timberwolves can be a good team right now. All right, and then jumping up 2 spots here, at number 14, we're going to have the Phoenix Suns this week. They go, they go 2-1. So good week for Phoenix here. Starting to get back. They were really struggling a couple weeks ago. I had them down to, I believe, like 21, or 20. Yeah, I mean, just was rough for Phoenix, but I still think that the Suns team, just waiting for Devin Booker to return. I'm not sure when he comes back, but obviously this team needs him back. He is the heart and soul of this team. Chris Paul has not played great this season. I think I've pointed out, I haven't said it, but I still think the Suns team has a really good roster. I think they're a well-coached basketball team, even without Booker, this is what they're judged. I think that the 14th best team without him. I still think that the Suns could maybe go on a run here. And be a top team, when Booker comes back, and show what they're made of. All right, but then jumping up a spot here, we have the New York Knicks. We're going to have them let's see, they go 1-2. So yeah, below average week for New York here. That's still fine though. I think that the Knicks are still a good team. With Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson's been playing great this season. You got all these other pieces here in New York. Interested to see if they maybe make a deadline trade and maybe improve this roster a little bit to maybe try and sneak in the playoffs. But the Eastern Conference right now is tough to get in that mix in the playoffs. You're probably going to have to go through the play-in term if you're not a contender, and we'll see where I have the teams later on at. But right now, New York, still a really good team. They got all-stars there for New York, so I still believe in the Knicks. All right, but then we're going to have a team jumping up here at number 12. We're going to have the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs go 2-1. So, yeah, just like the Suns this week. The Mavericks, obviously, Luka Doncic, it's his team right now. He's trying to carry them. It's gonna be interesting to see if the Mavericks trade for someone in the trade deadline to try and improve this roster. That's been my biggest knock on the Mavericks. They just need someone else here in Dallas to help out Luka. I mean, it's just not a very good roster other than him. And I really do like the Mavericks, though. I think that they're a good team here. Luka Doncic, I really like him. He's a really good player. Going to be one of the best in the future years. But, yeah, like I said, they need to build around him a little bit more, I think, in this trade deadline. And we'll see if they can do so. All right, but then jumping up a spot here at number 11, we're going to have the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors this week go undefeated. They go 3-0. So good week for Golden State and Stephen Curry, showing why he's still Steph Curry and still one of the best players of all time. Playing really good. Klay Thompson obviously also doing that as well. And the Warriors, yeah, I mean, this is a scary team. You can't count out Golden State. They can sneak up on about anybody here. I think that they can win the championship again. Maybe. Not right now. They're not in the contender tier. But, the Warriors, don't count them out. I still think that they're a very good team, and they're going to be jumping up a spot. All right, but then into the top 10 here, dropping down a spot, we have the Sacramento Kings. The Kings this week go 1-4, I believe. Yeah, really rough week for Sacramento. But, yeah, every team has their kind of dry spells like that. We'll see if it's just a one-week thing for Sacramento, or maybe they turn into the next Pelicans. I sure hope not. I kind of really want this Kings to prove people wrong and go to the playoffs. Playoffs, which they've not been for a very long time. Their fans deserve it at this point. But anyway, the Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox, what's his name? Sabonis, really good players for the Kings. This Kings team's a good team. Even with this rough week, I still think that they can bounce back. All right, but then moving into number 9, jumping up a spot, we have the LA Clippers here they go 3-1. So playing a lot better lately for LA here. Good week. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard playing a lot better for this Clippers team. It's been a weird team to rank all season long, but I've tried my best with them. I still think this team can be one of the best teams in the whole league if they're healthy, if they're playing up to their potential. This team might be the best team in the whole league. But obviously, it just hasn't been that this season. They've been inconsistent. But we'll see with the Clippers. We'll see if they can become contenders soon. They've got to continue to show that they can be that, but we'll see what happens with LA. All right, so let's go to the contender tier. Yes, we have all 6, playoff teams, Eastern Conference teams in the playoffs. So 6 teams in the East are in the playoffs, which is really crazy to think about. But yeah, let's look at it. The Miami Heat staying at the same spot, but coming into the contender tier this week. It's time, I think. I trust this Heat team 2-1. I'm trusting them that this decision is not the wrong one to make. Jimmy Butler, I really do like him as a player. He's really good. And and as well as the rest of this roster. We know what this team is capable of. They've shown it. They've been number one overall seeds in the past. They've went on finals runs in the past. I think that this Heat team deserves some respect, even with a struggling start to the year. So I still think that the Heat are a very good team and should be taken seriously at this point because they've really rebounded after a rough start. All right, but then also staying at the same spot here, we have the New York Knicks. I mean, not the New York Knicks. Sorry, the Brooklyn Nets. Got the wrong New York team there. But Brooklyn this week goes, I believe, 2-2. So just an average week for Brooklyn. Just waiting for Kevin Durant to come back. To be honest, this team's not a contender without Kevin Durant, but it's a minor injury, so I'm just going to keep them in here because he's going to be back next week or something, I think. So yeah, I do think that the Nets are still a really good team. Kyrie Irving's really been playing good this season. I don't think he's going to get traded. If he does, I think be a stupid move for both parties. This team has a chance to go on a run this playoffs. They've got to believe in their team. That they went all in for this team, and they've got to show that they can do it. So we'll see what happens with Brooklyn as they stay at the same spot. All right, also staying at the same spot, the Cleveland Cavaliers, kind of hesitant on this team right now, honestly. The Cavs this week, it was a good week, though. Just an average week, 2-2, but it's been that way for a long time for Cleveland, and I'm kind of getting nervous. You can't be like a 2-2 every week team and expect to be a contender. Obviously, they were red hot to start out the year. Donovan Mitchell playing out of his mind, but yeah, I mean, Cleveland, just the defense is not there. It's not a good defense at all. They got weapons on the offense, but you got to play good defense if you want to beat some of the best teams. We've seen it in the past from defenses win championships. So yeah, I think that Cleveland's got to figure that out if they want to be a legitimate top team right now. I still believe in this team. They're so explosive on offense. But if they get cold, any team can really beat this Cleveland Cavaliers team, which is kind of a scary thought for them going into the playoffs. All right, but then dropping down a spot here at number 5, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies this week go 1-2. So just another bad week for Memphis here. Yeah, I mean, but the Western Conference right now is still just not good. That I don't think the Grizzlies are too worried about it. Obviously fighting for the number 1 seed, but right now the Nuggets are up in that race. So obviously John Morant, this team still really good for Memphis. Very young team, very hungry team here in Memphis is how I would describe them. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Memphis. There's obviously, they're definitely not the best team in the league. It's been evident this season. And we'll see. I mean, injuries has also kind of been a struggle for Memphis for a long time here. So we'll see if they can get it done. All right, but then let's move on to number 4. We have the Philadelphia 76ers here going to jump up a spot here. They go, I believe, 2-1 this week. So, yeah, Philadelphia's been playing really good for a long time here, like about a month and a half-ish, I think, ever since James Harden came back. The Sixers have been playing great. Joel Embiid got snubbed from an all-star starter. I'll just say that I think he should have got it, but he did not, which is unfortunate for him. But yeah, anyway, Philadelphia, this team, very good. Should not, I think I should not disrespect them anymore. They had them at about like 6-ish, 7th over the past few weeks. Not last week. I had them at 5. But anyway, these rankings are so much harder to get up on when you get into the top, like 5, 6-ish. It's hard to rank some of these teams. But Philadelphia 76ers, I do think, is a top 4 team right now. Not quite a top 3, though. At number 3, though, we have the Denver Nuggets going to fall down a spot here. The Nuggets this week go 1-2, so just not the best week for Denver. It happens to all the best teams, as I've said. Nikola Jokic and this roster is still very freaking good. You can't count out the Nuggets. They're just a top team in the league for a reason here. Top team in the West. I'm not worried about the Nuggets after just one 1 and 2 week. That's not really why they're dropping. It's because of the number 2 team here jumping up a spot, the Milwaukee Bucks. This team goes 4-0 this week. I am a really big Milwaukee supporter here. I think that they can be the best team in the whole league. When they're at their best, Giannis Antetokounmpo put up 50 points on Sunday. He's just playing out of his mind. I think he's the best player in the whole league right now. And the Bucks got a really good roster around him here. That's how you build a championship caliber team. And the Milwaukee Bucks obviously have always been a scary team. And we'll see if they can keep it going right now. But then finishing it off, obviously the number 1 team. I don't even remember the last time it hasn't been the Celtics. Probably like 2 months. It's been the Bucks. We're the last 1 seed here, but the number 1 team. But the Boston Celtics going 1-1 this week. Just 1-1. I mean, kind of leaving themselves vulnerable to get taken over there. But the Nuggets fell this week. The Bucks still are behind. The Celtics, I still think, are the best team with Jason Tatum and this defense and all these players here on Boston. Still a very good team. All right, anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway,